Have you ever felt completely alone, giving your all for the salvation of someone you love? This is the story of a mother who spent more than 30 years shedding tears, facing a hot-tempered husband, a hostile mother-in-law, and most painfully of all, a son who rejected her faith. This is the life of Saint Monica, a powerful example of a wife and mother's perseverance and love, and how that can change destiny. Saint Monica was born in the year 331 in Tagaste, now Algeria, in Africa, and had a childhood marked by a strict governess. As a young woman, she was married to Patricius, a pagan who was honorable and upright, but had a hot and hasty temper. Monica endured his outbursts with patience, and he surprisingly never struck her, which suggests he held her in some reverence. Over time, Patricius' attitude softened thanks to Monica's sweetness, who never responded harshly. Her patience bore fruit, and he was baptized, though he passed away a year later in 371. Monica also had to win over her mother-in-law, who had a bad opinion of her due to the servants' gossip. But with her patience and submission, Monica softened her mother-in-law's heart. Upon learning of the gossip, she convinced Patricius to have them corrected with stripes. This caused the rest of the servants to stop speaking ill of Monica, and they all lived together with a wonderful sweetness of mutual goodwill. Saint Augustine, her famous son, describes her in his Confessions as a natural peacemaker, partly because people felt Christ to be present in her heart. He comments that she cared for everyone as if she had been the mother of us all, and she served us as if she had been the child of us all. Monica and Patricius had 3 children: Augustine, born in 354, Navigius, and a daughter who likely died young, as she is not mentioned again. Augustine confesses in his Confessions that he often disobeyed his parents by not taking his studies seriously, preferring sports and games with friends. As a young man, Augustine greatly distressed his mother, by then a widow, by rejecting the traditional teachings of the Church and joining Manichaeism, a heretical sect. His thinking about God and the world became distorted, and his life grew increasingly dissolute. He even had a son, a Deodatus, gift from God, with a concubine. Concerned about Augustine's fall into Manichaeism, Monica begged a bishop to speak with him. Augustine recounts the bishop told her, "But leave him alone for a time," he said. "Only pray to God for him, for he will by himself, by reading, discover what the error is and how great is its impiety." The bishop revealed that he himself had been a Manichaean as a child and had come to see how wrong the sect was. But Monica did not give up and pleaded more vehemently, shedding tears for the bishop to talk to her son. Annoyed by her persistence, the bishop exclaimed, "Go your way, and God bless you, for it is not possible that the son of these tears should perish." Monica always said she felt that answer was a voice from heaven. Encouraged by these words, Monica continued to pray fervently for her son's salvation and spiritual well-being. Augustine writes, "For I cannot sufficiently express the love she had for me, nor how she now travailed for me in the spirit with a far keener anguish than when she bore me in the flesh." He asks, "But could you, most merciful God, despise the contrite and humble heart of that pure and prudent widow, so constant in giving alms, so gracious and attentive to the memory of your martyrs, twice a day, morning and evening, coming to your church without fail, in order to listen to you in your sermons, and that you might listen to her in her prayers?" In 384, Augustine moved to Milan, where he met the great Western Church Father, Saint Ambrose. December 7. Ambrose helped him leave Manichaeism, though he was not yet a Christian. It was then that his mother came to find him. He relates, "By this time, my mother, made strong by her piety, had come to me, following me over sea and land in all perils, feeling secure in you. For in the dangers of the sea, she comforted the very sailors, assuring them of a safe arrival, because she had been so assured by you in a vision." Augustine decided not to marry, and about a year later, he finally returned to the faith of his childhood, believing in Jesus Christ. Surrendering his entire life to God, he felt it was God's will for him, his mother, his brother, and his son to return to their homeland in western North Africa. They arrived at Ostia, the seaport at the mouth of the Tiber River, and had to wait for a ship to cross the Mediterranean. One beautiful evening, while waiting for the ship, mother and son had an unforgettable conversation about heavenly things. At the end of the conversation, Monica declared, "Son, for myself, I no longer have any pleasure in anything in this life. I don't know of anything further I might want here, and in fact, I don't know why I am still here, now that my hopes in this world are satisfied. There was indeed one thing for which I wished to tarry a little while in this life, and that was that I might see you as a Catholic Christian before I died. My God has granted this exceedingly abundantly. So what else is there for me here?" As it happened, just 5 days later, still in Ostia, Monica suddenly fell ill with a fever, and 9 days after that, she died in 387 at the age of 56. Before she died, she asked that her body simply be buried in Ostia, so they would not be burdened with taking it back to Africa. She added, "This only I ask, that you remember me at the Lord's altar, wherever you may be." Saint Augustine went on to become the greatest Western Church Father of the first 1,000 years of Christian history. And thanks to her story, told in his Confessions, she has been remembered for over 1,600 years as perhaps the premier example of a mother who never gave up on her wayward son. The life of Saint Monica leaves us with valuable lessons about the power of patience, perseverance, prayer, and unconditional love applicable in her different roles as a wife, mother, and daughter-in-law. As a wife, Monica showed that love and patience can transform the most difficult hearts. Her husband, Patricius, a pagan with an explosive temper, converted to Christianity not through arguments or confrontations, but through the sweetness and submission with which she endured his outbursts. Her silent example was the main tool of evangelization, leading her husband to be baptized and change his behavior. The lesson here is that a life example lived with faith is more powerful than words. As a daughter-in-law, just as with her husband, Monica had to face the animosity of her mother-in-law caused by servants' gossip. Instead of confronting her or harboring resentment, she chose submission and kind treatment. Her patience softened the mother-in-law's heart, who finally recognized Monica's goodness and corrected the gossiping servants. This situation teaches us that perseverance in kindness can overcome malice and restore family relationships. As a mother, Saint Monica's most well-known legacy is her role as the mother of Saint Augustine. Despite her son's disobedience, youthful rebellion, and adoption of a heresy, Manichaeism, Monica never gave up. Her tireless tears and prayers over many years are the strongest testament to her faith. The bishop, who comforted her with the famous phrase, "It is not possible that the son of these tears should perish," summarizes the belief in the power of persistent prayer. Her life teaches us that no matter how lost our loved ones may seem, prayer, patience, and faith in God can work miracles.